think that if you tell people, they will run away from me. I will not be voted if I do this. Let me tell them what they want to hear. Can you maintain telling them what they want to hear?
So do you believe that when they say that the society gets the government that they deserve, do you believe in that mentality?
I do, with all honesty. I do, because I visited Kigali in 2020, Rwanda. I saw how disciplined, how organized, how responsible, how good a people are when I visited Rwanda. And when you start the conversation, how comes? They tell you Kagame. Kagame is from Rwanda. You don't expect God to bring Kagame to come and rule us in Nigeria. It has to be somebody from among ourselves that will emerge. That is why constantly I keep telling people, I personally don't have a presidential candidate. Even in my party. Because if we don't start telling people the truth, we are lying to ourselves. I don't have a presidential candidate. And I said it to somebody because I consider them as, I consider their competition a competition of dwarfs. It's just a question of who is the shortest, not that they are not all short.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. Yes. But we cannot finish the election 2023 February without voting for a president. So I look at the end, I've still not made my choice. I'm waiting. Every day things keep spilling. Every day you say, okay, if I was going with this, I say, no, I've changed my mind because he has started pouring his inner, let me change. So let me wait a day, 2 or 3 with strong prayers and determination. Maybe I can get a presidential candidate to vote. But at this point, I don't have one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now let's begin this conversation taking our quote from Chief Obafemi Jeremiah Oyeni Awolowo, GCFR. He was a Yoruba nationalist and Nigerian statesman who played a key role in Nigeria's independence movement. He was former Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning of Nigeria. He once said, "Of course, my contemporaries scorned at me, but the facts of history are irrefutable. I consider it most unfortunate that our young Turks decided to introduce the element of violent revolution into Nigerian politics. No matter how they are our general public might have been provoked by obstinate and perhaps grasping politicians, it is an unwise policy." What exactly does that mean? Now let's see how that quote relates to what we'll be discussing tonight. Very warm greetings and welcome to The Conversation. We're reaching you from KAFTAN's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Annabel Orji. Nurudeen Hammanyero, he is an information communication technology expert who is the chairman of Cairo Technology. Mr. Hammanyero is contesting for the Federal House of Representatives by Mayobelwa, Jeddah, Ganye, and Tongu constituency in Adamawa State under the Young Progressive Party, YPP. Now, we will be talking to Nurudeen Hammanyero, and we'll get to find out the policies, the bills, and the programs that he is intending to roll out for these 4 federal constituencies if he gets voted into power. Now, this is The Conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go on this quick break, and when we return, we'll go straight to this conversation. I will see you in a bit. If you just joined us, this is The Conversation. We're reaching you from KAFTAN's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. Now we'll go straight to our conversation for tonight. Our guest on the show tonight is Honorable Nurudeen Hammanyero. He is YPP House of Representative candidate, and he's representing Mayobelwa, Jeddah, Ganye, and Tongo from Adamawa State. It's good to have you on the show today, sir.
Thank you, Annabelle.
Great. All right, now let's talk about you. defecting from All Progressive Congress to the Young Progressive Party. What exactly inspired that move, even though we see that some people that you actually move with and then they're still returning back again? So for you, why did you actually have to defect from APC to YPP?
It's a matter of principle.
Okay, tell us about this principle.
We were in APC. Basically, I wasn't an active politician, not somebody who wanted to contest, but a supporter of somebody who wanted a mandate.
Okay.
Yeah. As at that time, it was a friend of mine who picked interest under the influence of the Not Too Young to Run bill that was passed by Mr. President in 2019. I supported him, and we started having foul plays by the party because they introduced too much money in the process of getting who gets the ticket. There was too much money, and we felt it's so unnecessary, it's not good for the system, it will affect negatively generations to come. We talked and preached and reported it everywhere, but it fell on deaf ears. So we concluded, okay, let's put a trial and see if this party, if the youth in this country will understand this is what is happening, the financialization of our political processes. And we said, okay, we don't have the money. Can you please contribute, because this is a young man, our demography, and let's put him on trial. We got the money, but not to that extent that he can fetch us the form.
To what extent then?
To a large extent, but it wasn't up to the amount that was 100 million naira to buy the form. And we had a consultation, and we said, okay, staying in this party or going extra mile to make up the balance and get the form is as good as saying, don't do it, but I'm prepared to do it.
Okay.
And it's wrong. So we said, okay, why not we consult other parties and look at their manifesto, look at the pillars that are holding those parties, and see if it will fit our narrative of let the right person be on board, and somebody with energy, with the rudiment, the requirement that makes a good leader. And we consulted all the other parties, the smaller parties. I call them smaller parties because, of course, it's not as big as the mainstream.
So is your party also a smaller party?
Then, not now.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So YPP was a very good option. The chairman.
Why was it YPP? Why not SDP, ADC, NNPP?
We had a very good conversation with them, but it wasn't to our favor.
Okay.
Yes, it wasn't to our favor. Another time maybe we have this discussion. YPP, we saw that the national chairman was of our generation. In fact, we can call him our age mate. We saw most of the members of the National Working Committee very vibrant, young, and well articulating, and we say, okay, that means this is the place. And we had this agreement that, okay, we are coming on board. And they were also happy because they saw the value we are coming with, bringing a young man who they feel will push the struggle forward. And a day or two to us picking the form, I was also advised, okay, Nurudeen, you did a lot of the mediation. Okay, why not you also pick a form? And I said, I'm not ready to do actual politics. But the pressure mounted on me. I said, okay. Initially, it was go for a senatorship. I said, no, I can't handle that. 9 local governments in my constituency, senatorial district, I can't. Being a starter, I should go for something lower that at least. Even in business, I think it's good you always start small, grow, and then expand. I
think I like that mentality because you have some people who say, I want to start, they will go straight to presidency.
That's where you crash.
Aha, okay, go ahead.
I said, okay, give me some time. So I went, sat down, looked at it critically, did my own internal homework. My constituency, We have 4 local governments, like you rightly mentioned, Mayo, Belwa, Jada, Ganya, and Tongo. And for good 24 years, I did my own mathematics. I saw that, okay, this is worth trying.
Okay.
And I came back and said, okay, I will pick the form. And we picked our form on the same day with my presidential candidate. And the game started. So we did our own affirmations because I was the only one that got the form in the constituency. And when it was the right time for primaries, as it is called, in our own case, if you are alone, it's no longer it will not hold its affirmation, but the usual process would take place. So I got affirmed as the sole candidate to bear that mandate. And that's how the game started. But unfortunately, for my presidential candidate, who I relied on, and until today, there is no clear explanation from him. He left my party, now the YPP, and went back to APC. Yeah, and this brings me to the point that the younger generation in this country, I don't think we are still in tandem with the reality. Annabel, I read a book titled Why Not, written by Professor Pat Utomi. If you read that book, you'll be discouraged as a youth, and you feel guilty as a youth. His concept of writing that book, sorry we are deviating a little, but it's just a minute or two. His concept of writing that book came when, about the same time, a young man hit his mom, sent her to coma, raped her, killed her, and sodomized her. And in a society that most people, some people know, they were quiet. Some didn't even know it's happening. They are cheering. And at the end, whether the law took its place or not, the situation is the helpless mother is in her grave. Maybe justice will be served or not. And he described this woman as Nigeria. And what pains him the most writing this book is the fact that the younger generation are still not understanding their role in the society. We easily sell our consciousness, our right, then later come back and start throwing blames to each other. And like El-Rufai rightly said, Governor El-Rufai of Kaduna State, you don't expect us to tell you we are tired, take. It's power is giving, it's not taking. It's taking, it's not giving. So he said he is always preaching to the younger generation to realize we have drifted so far that getting back on the right course almost seems impossible. Yes, and it's the situation we are now. Okay, now let me ask you. We have different associations of youths in Nigeria, starting from the student body up to any, cascade it to any level you want to look at it, to marketers association, to farmers, to whatever group. Now tell me, how many of this group have you seen today sit down and provide a platform to scrutinize any politician? How many?
They only tell you that they are apolitical.
Now you are apolitical, and it has taken place. It is a junkie that is going to decide for you, and you are angry. So are you not worse than the junkie? So we need to really wake up and realize we are guilty more than the people we accuse.
Are you throwing shades or fingers at someone when you say it's a junkie that is going to represent you?
No. Okay. There is, I don't know if you know, since 1999 to date, it has been the preaching of all parties. If you want to vote us, vote us. Did you hear all the presidents say, vote us from top to bottom? You've heard it, right?
I heard.
Top to bottom. Now, look at the process that make a candidate. irrespective of the position. Is it members of assembly at the state level, or the governor himself, or coming back to the federal level, the reps, the Senate, and the president? Look at those processes that brought those people to claim that mandate. Tell me, when we mention the money matter, which is the case for the two mainstream parties, it was never a process subjected to character and achievement. It was just, if you have the money, you can afford it and bulldoze your way, you get the mandate. Will this process bring a junkie or not? It's a question for you.
I'm the one asking the question.
I'm just giving you the answer. Because it means an armed robber can get this mandate. A bandit can get this mandate. A terrorist can get this mandate so long as he has the money. Because he will come to the system. What you guys need is a 10 million naira or 20 or 30, as the case may be, for whatever position. He pays. And pay all of you to pave way for him. He now sits on the seat. What do you expect from him? The masses at heart? How? It's not possible.
Or maybe just recouping what he has spent.
First of all, yes. And then secondly, to save more, because he knows how he comes in. At best, those of you that supported him will get a little that will leak from his hand. But in most cases, it's me, myself, and I. Because I spend the money. And if this is what is defining our political space, are we in trouble or not? So, I go back to let the youth, wherever we are in this country, wake up to these challenges and look at it that this is our future. This is our future. You can't tell me I don't have a say in a system that I can guarantee myself 30 years. And you, with your age, maybe you are only gasping for 10 years or 5 years. You can't tell me that. So if I'm serious, then I need to establish myself into that system and make sure processes are taking place with my own contribution, because this is the only way I can define what happened next. But silence is a disaster.
So I hear you talk about, say, that we should be serious. Now, you also talked about the Not Too Young to Run Act that was signed into law by the president. So with all of that cheer, all of that energy that you see the youth come with, was that all lip service? Were we all paying lip service then?
I can't really call it lip service. What I would tell you is I think I said this in one of the sessions I had at Hausa version. The people who have planned this to work in their favor in Nigeria have actually succeeded. I will still give you a reference. The Donald Duke of Cross River State had a small interaction, and he said it. Let me repeat in clear terms what he said. The activities of the mainstream party, he called APC and PDP, is inimical to the growth of this country. He said it. Now, the people who wanted money to be a factor, first of all, has barricaded good people. Do you know how many sharp minds, how many credible people with highly reputable people we have sent back home with good ideas that today, if death strikes, they will leave this earth without us feeling their impact simply because they don't have money.
But the same person you're talking about is a member of one of the parties. He's
one of the party, but he is saying it during his time he did his best. But the problem is, if 1 over 10 is good, is as good as 10 over 10 is bad. That is just the truth. Until we make conscious effort to allow good people dominate the system, we don't expect to see anything good.
If you throw pointing fingers to the politicians, how about the same youth who are cheering, rooting for this same older generations who are corrupt, like you call them?
First of all, I'm starting. number one. And secondly, in my own case, let me now microzone it to myself. In my own case now, I'm starting, and I have started in a proper way that have transmitted good signal to my people. Let me tell you what I did. No politician in my constituency, I don't even want to mention Adamawa State, has ever visited the entire wards because he is contesting for member House of Reps. How do you represent people you don't know? So what I did, I told them, I'm going to visit each and every ward. My constituency has 43 wards, but I have to take it in phases because the logistical arrangement is not going to be easy. So we have started with the first local government that has 12 wards. We visited them. And when you go, that is when exactly you will see the person you want to represent and his condition. And this provides you, first of all, a kind of bond between you and him.
Interaction.
Yes.
Okay.
Now we've done that, and I'm going back, latest by Sunday, to continue with the next local government that has 11 wards, then stay, because time is closing up, to do the next local government, which is 10 wards, and then the last, which also has 10 wards. Now, winning or not, the aim is, first of all, to set a good precedence. Somebody coming behind should know you can't represent people you don't know.
So it's no longer business as usual?
It's no longer business as usual. And at least when you go, if I say I will visit all the units, I have 718 units, Annabel. If I tell you I can do that now, I'm categorically lying. I cannot do that. But to visit the wards, because this is like a business, not business to cash out money, but it's a business. You come halfway. Those you want to represent should also demonstrate their willingness to bring a good person on board. So it's like a transaction.
So they meet you halfway?
We meet halfway. So I have made this effort, sacrificed my money, come to you, then the other ones in your unit, you mobilize them, come and let's talk. What is your problem? The ones I have seen, we deliberate on it. I don't have an executive power. I have always, when I visit people, I told them one thing I would do is, I will never come and lie to you that, because there is even a clear misunderstanding on what are the roles of these people we are electing at various positions. You can imagine now going to the village, somebody thinks legislators have executive powers. They have money to execute projects. And if that is the case, the man feels he has given you one chance, you did not do anything. Now you are coming back. What he needs is the money, not the work you keep lying to him about. So what I'm doing is, first of all, when I go, I tell them what exactly will be my role when I'm elected. There are oversight functions and making policies. Now, I visit some places, I realize they are blessed with agriculture. And in the past, there was a government that managed to set up bridges for them. But because maybe of the nature of the place, those bridges have collapsed. Now they are left with the agricultural product. At the end of every rainy season, they can't even transport it out. They consume, the remaining gets spoiled. At best, people who have Okada drive it, take it out gradually, and no good money coming back to the community. So in fact, when I was visiting, when they stopped me at the bridge, and they said, "This is our polling unit." Nurudeen, this is our polling unit. So if you get there, we want you to fix it. And it was the reason I explained to them, I don't have executive powers. But what I would do for sure, I get this position, okay, I have visited all these 43 wards. These are peculiar problems. These are common problems. Now, we look at the one, because you can't really solve problems, all of it at the same time. You can't. But at least the one that can touch each of the society simultaneously, you can prioritize those kind of problems. If this bridge does not only connect to you, but it connects also to the next what and the next what, you know. And as a result, movement of goods, you know, those products
goes with ease.
Revolves around this bridge. Then I know this bridge should be a priority to me.
Okay.
And I can now set up, make my report, present it to the federal government, mediate and ensure that the bridge is fixed to bring back life to normalcy for you guys. But not that I will promise you the moment I get voted into the office, I start building it because I have money. And because they don't understand. So the duties for us as people who are asking for this mandate is
education.
Stop lying to your people, educate them. Sometimes telling people the truth, we think that if you tell people, they will run away from me. I will not be voted if I do this. Let me tell them what they want to hear. Can you maintain telling them what they want to hear?
So do you believe that when they say that society gets the government that they deserve, do you believe in that mentality?
I do, with all honesty. I do. Because I visited Kigali in 2020, Rwanda. I saw how disciplined, how organized, how responsible, how good a people are when I visited Rwanda. And when you start the conversation, how comes? They tell you Kagame. Kagame is from Rwanda. You don't expect God to bring Kagame to come and rule us in Nigeria. It has to be somebody from among ourselves that will emerge. That is why constantly I keep telling people, I personally don't have a presidential candidate. Even in my party. Because if we don't start telling people the truth, we are lying to ourselves. I don't have a presidential candidate. And I said it to somebody because I consider them as, I consider their competition a competition of dwarfs. It's just a question of who is the shortest, not that they are not all short.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. Yes. But we cannot finish the election 2023 February without voting for a president. So I look at the end, I've still not made my choice. I'm waiting. Every day, things keep spilling. Every day, you say, okay, if I was going with this, I say, no, I've changed my mind because he has started pouring his inner, let me change. So let me wait a day, 2 or 3, with strong prayers and determination, maybe I can get a presidential candidate to vote. But at this point, I don't have one.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
All right. So because you talked about the policies that you would definitely bring forth, we'll talk about that before we end the show. Now, I know that you are a businessman who is going into politics. What exactly endeared you into politics? Why not agriculture? Why not information and communications technology? Why not trade? Why not manufacturing? Because I know that you are in the ICT sector. So why not something close to what you do?
Okay. First of all, I have just explained to you how I come into politics. That's one. And secondly, politics, take it or leave it, has become a business that every youth should engage in, not with the aim of profit making.
Then so what? Service?
Yes.
Okay.
So on that strong reason, I have joined politics. And because, like I said, I have browsed through the society, I have seen how things get dilapidated, how every day we claim going to school, upgrading our certificates, going for courses, seminars, yet we come back home and allow ourselves get represented or governed by people who are just blank. So I'm guilty. I am completely guilty. And if I am to redeem myself personally as Nurudeen and hope to leave this world with consciousness that I have served my community or the country at large, then I should involve myself into the system that has come to stay. When you talk about administration of people, so this is just politics is not an option for any young man in Nigeria. It's not an option, Annabel, including you.
I don't think I'm even intending to go anytime soon. All right, so you, like I said before, you're in the ICT sector. How do you intend to duplicate your effort in Adamawa State as their representative? Because I remember that you once hinted on the possibility of, for Nigeria, especially Abuja, to achieve a smart city, given the government's commitment and if the citizens are determined to make it work. So now that you are contesting to become the reps representing these 4 constituencies, now what kind of policies are you intending to bring up that you think that you can actually bring up to duplicate in Adamawa State and to its indigents?
Okay. My constituency, I'll give you an estimate. We are about 900,000 in the constituency. About 900,000. And sorry to say this, in the state we are the least educated. The least educated. And again, I don't know, is it the lack of proper awareness to educate the people on the value for education, or is it a deliberate thing from the elitist people in the society to hold those regions to ransom? I don't know. With time, these things will unfold. But what I know is that empowerment, when you talk about policies, I can't just restrict myself to the ICT, because policies should be in line with the culture and the endowment that region has. If you want to go to Bayelsa, that is endowed with oil, and insist more on agriculture, you might likely fail. Your policy will not work. So ICT is very vast, Annabel. In fact, today as we talk, there is no single thing you talk about without involving it with ICT. Even as we are seated now, it's the ICT technology that is playing everywhere around us, me and you. Now, what my people need, priority that I have seen is, let's utilize the blessing God has given to the constituency, which is agriculture. We are the food basket of Adamawa State. That's how we are called. Particularly the 2 local governments in between, Jada and Ganye.
Okay.
And then the last local government, which is Tongo, is one of the richest local governments in terms of mineral resources, particularly precious stones. Now, of course, we have students across both secondary school, polytechnics, colleges, and universities, and those students, some of them school outside, because we only have 1 college, which is, I think, College of Agriculture in the region. So if you want to, the ICT aspect you're talking about will not be left out, but it will be at the basic level.
Okay.
Basic level to introduce them to a technology that is trending, which is the ICT. So get to know that this thing will come to you very soon, and get prepared, so that as you acquire the basics and you are leaving the society, you are equipped to progress.
All right.
Now, when you talk about the agriculture that I say we need to, I have understood this, and is what I'm going to hit on. My constituency, I'm looking forward to bringing policies that will bring about the establishment of medium-scale industries or small-scale industries that will guarantee processing of those agricultural products that we have, so that we can employ our people, make good money out of it, and increase the revenue generation of the state. Because this will also help the ICT, because ICT is capitally intensive.
All right.
Very, very expensive. So if we don't have the money to bring so much technology into the region, then we need to start looking for where to get the money so that we invest it back to the ICT. Because the government table is full. And anytime expectation, we expect too much from the government. That is why people should expect from the government is conducive environment. But the private sector alliances is what thrives.
I actually like where you talked about, because you have, we are already used to the usual farming, and then now we're supposed to like move away from the usual farming to food processing.
Yeah.
And then that's where ICT actually comes in.
Absolutely.
Let's go to a quick break, and when we return, we'll continue this conversation with Nurudeen Hammanyero. I will see you shortly. Don't move a muscle. We'll be right back.
Take ownership, Annabel. Take ownership of the project so that you know you have a part in it. And tomorrow you can say, this is what we want Nurudeen to do for our constituency, because it's our problem, not what he wants. I'm not going there to represent myself. But you can't sell your right, like the case going on now. You collect 2,000 naira or rice or sugar or Maggi, exhaust it in 1 week, and think you come back and dictate to me how I represent you. Do you have the moral ground to do that? Except if God in heaven will touch my heart, that I will say,
so listen.
I will say, whatever I have spent, let it go. And I will concentrate on the common good for the people, which I have not seen so far. Maybe there is, but I'm not privileged to know with any politician. But in most cases is, I spend my money, so how do you want me to help you?
If you just joined us, this is The Conversation. We're reaching you from KAFTAN's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. If you actually just joined us, you've missed out on a whole lot, but then you can still join in the conversation. As our guest of the show tonight is Nurudeen Hammanyero. He is YPP's House of Representative candidate, representing Mayobelwa, Jeddah, Ganye, and Tongo from Adamawa State. All right, before we went on that break, we've actually dissected a lot of interesting things. Now, let's talk about you. How close are you to your constituents, especially the youth of your constituency, especially, and even talking about the indigents of this 4 federal constituencies that you will be contesting to represent in Adamawa State? How close are you to them?
Very much close. Very, very, very close. Like I told you earlier, I realize what usually produces people into various positions politically are lies. I choose not to do that. As a matter of principle, one, and secondly, looking at it that one of my responsibility is to tell you what is right. If we are together, it doesn't matter whether in the constituency or in the office or anywhere I am, it will hurt you, but it may hurt you or not, but that's just the good thing to do. I have not lied to anybody since I started. And I think I have seen how that has resonated well with the youths. And
even though you say that sometimes they'd like to hear what they want to hear.
Yes, but it has, in fact, let me tell you something. When we flagged off, my friends called me, okay, we did the preparation. They did all the preparation. I was in Abuja. We did it on the 26th of November. They called me, okay, I will only say, okay, let's do this and do that. We set up committees at various levels, transportation, logistics, media, blah. We did all the arrangements. And I told them, what's the estimate for the venue? They said 5,000. I said, do you think we can get 5,000 people? They said, let's try. And I visited a particular studio, sent out an invitation, which was aired to the corners of the constituency. Annabel, I'm telling you, we practically, that town was, where we did the flag off, the town was practically shut down that day.
Organic people?
Yeah. I did not give anybody 1 naira. I only shouldered the responsibility for my media team, and of course, water, because you're coming to keep people in a venue that is, hot. And things like that. So what I have spent, I will tell you, is not, if you want to equate it properly, should not produce 10% of those people that came. And I was telling the media guy that interviewed me after the whole thing, I said, I now see hope that our message to these people has gone deep down, and we're expecting a positive result. So the closeness you're talking about, we've gone very deep with the youth and women in particular. Yes, women in particular. This morning, a lady called me. She said, we don't want your money. You have not visited, because I told you our next step is to visit the next local government that has 11 wards. She said, we have our association in every, they are petty, they do soap, all these menial. She said, we have our association in virtually all the 11 wards. And there is no single chapter that has less than 100 women. We've compiled our details. Most of us, 80%, have their voters card. You have not visited us. We don't need your money. All we need is, we've heard a lot about you. Come, we want to see you and hear more from you, because we are going to vote you. Now, I'm preparing to face them, and I'm really going to tell them what is the truth. And what is that? How I plan to uplift this very association of women into making them more useful to the society. And it's doable. I said it one time, if they have association of making soaps and shea butter oil for their hair and the rest, and they are not really getting the required capital. For a serious person who wants to represent his people and do it well, I think these are one of the simplest things you can do. I said it before. If you put together these people, let's even put it at 50-50. Forget about the hundreds he's mentioning. 11 wards, you have 550 women. And if you want to empower them, all you need to do is to identify any of the microfinance bank around you, stand as their guarantor, get their details because you are representing them, identify each of those small jobs they want to do in their own houses and bring it to the market to sell, which will turn around their economy. And
then he gets a loan for them.
You get a loan for them. And
so what of those people who already believe that, sorry I had to cut in, so what of those people who believe that this is government, it's a national cake, let's go get our own piece of the pie, so decide not to return their funds?
And I told you about educating them. I cannot give you this money without educating you that this is not your national cake.
Okay.
It's not. And it's the same thing that happened to this government. On these anchor borrowers, agricultural,
farmer money, trader money.
You see people collecting it to go and buy iPhone because there's no proper education. Somebody in the village, his village man in Abuja or Kaduna will just call him, send me your BVN number, period. He will receive 1 million. Do you expect him to be responsible with that 1 million? So anything that is worth doing, Annabelle, is worth doing well. So if we are, this thing calls for sacrifice. We can set up committees at various levels for women, for youth, for civil servants, for marketers and farmers and herders. So for the women, as I was saying, once this committee, you come, I can stand for you as a guarantor. But this guarantee is not 100%.
Okay.
Yes. You need 50,000 naira from me to open your small factory at home to produce soap. Can you show me your commitment to this project? Okay, I was in the farm last year, I was able to produce 5,000 naira, which is 10% of that money, right? Okay, submit it to the bank. You open an account, is credited. Now, and if the microfinance bank doesn't have that much money to bring into this business, you have people who are business oriented, who can come, these are your friends, you have partnered for a long time. Guy, come, I have a business in my constituency, invest your 500 million naira, in the next 4 years, at least you can make an interest from what they will return, even if it is 50 or 20 million naira. It's also community service, and we have also profited. Okay. He can bring his own money. This thing will be well coordinated. Those women will be empowered, and they will make their small money. Mind you, the money that turns around the economy of any society is
the
those
value chain is huge.
You understand?
I agree with you.
So I am looking forward to really concentrating on those kind of components, because I know they will be the drivers of our economy in that constituency.
Now you have, with all of these policies that you have, we already know that Adamawa State has been known as either the APC or the PDP, like the two major parties. So now, and you will be keenly contesting with some political bigwigs, of which the third force is yet, YPP even being part of the third force, is yet to gain ground, especially in the state. So how certain are you that your party will come out victorious at the end, considering the big names that you will be going into that ring with?
All the big names are in trouble.
Oh, really? How
yes,
so?
Annabel, they are all in trouble. Now, I said it to someone, a big man. This year, 2023, politically, is a shifting ground for Nigeria. It will be a turning point, God willing. Because the level of awareness, like I said, has risen. The level of commitment with respect to just this group I have mentioned to you, one out of the many, is encouraging. Now, coupled with the deliberate effort this government has made, at least these few things, we can give them credit. The upgrade we had in the electoral processes, which is the beavers.
The beavers.
And if those mechanisms are going to work effectively without any form of intrusion, then it means votes will count. And if those votes are going to count, the handwritings we have seen so far on the wall, that those votes will be ours. Because the failure from the two political parties has now prepared people's mind. This is the first time I have seen in this country that you hear somebody from APC who say, we are going to do rice and beans and macaroni. That means I will vote. I was not happy when they met Bola Tinubu, the APC flag bearer. So I'm going to vote, for example, Peter Obi. But my governor in the state, I will vote APC. The Senate, I was not happy they gave it to me. So the reps, the Senate, I will vote the Labour Party candidate or the NMP. You understand? So it's now happening in Nigeria, and it's good for our democracy. That means you can't just come to the system because you have emerged as the president tomorrow and want to bully your party because they are the majority in the house and pass policies. You can't. You need to understand every party that goes there to represent their people. So the rate at which we have communicated with those people, the connection has been established.
Okay.
Very well. It has been established. And we are not going to relent on our effort to keep going down, because we want to educate the least person in the society on why he is important in this movement. And I think it is what matters. Not that you come, okay, there was just an issue that happened 2 days ago. Somebody called me and said, you know, Oga, you did not, these people, they came, they gave us sugar and Maggi. At least you two, if you want to come, or if you are not coming, let's buy the sugar and send before you come. I told him, I am not going to give you 1 cube of Maggi. Let me ask you, 2019, were you giving Maggi in your house? He said, yes. Is he still serving you? He kept quiet. Were you giving sugar? He said, yes. Are you still using it in your house? He said, no. How long have you been buying sugar since the last time you were giving sugar by a politician? Or rice? Or soap to wash your clothes? I told him, I said, please. I told you, and I'm going to say it again. As much as I want us to work together, but I need to keep emphasizing on this as a fact. This is a project.
Okay. Take
ownership, Annabel. Take ownership of the project. so that you know you have a part in it. And tomorrow, you can say, this is what we want Nurudeen to do for our constituency because it's our problem, not what he wants. I'm not going there to represent myself. But you can't sell your right, like the case going on now. You collect 2,000 naira or rice or sugar or Maggi, exhaust it in 1 week, and think you come back and dictate to me how I represent you. Do you have the moral ground to do that? Except if God in heaven would touch my heart, that I will say,
so listen.
I will say, whatever I have spent, let it go. And I will concentrate on the common good for the people, which I have not seen so far. Maybe there is, but I'm not privileged to know with any politician. But in most cases is, I spend my money, so how do you want me to help you? So we have connected a lot with these people, and we've seen the encouragement, and every day we educate them on the need to endure, because it will be frustrating.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So now you've actually reeled out some policies that you intend to reel out. So now, when you become their House of Representative member, now, what are the plans? What are the programs, the bills or policies that you are actually looking forward to in terms of fighting insecurity, in terms of fighting poverty and the burgeoning state of out-of-school children? Because you talked about the education sector, how much it is dwindling. So what are the policies that you intend to bring forth in order to fight all of this, even looking at the Almajiri sector, seeing how it is increasing on the high? What policies or bills are you looking forward to?
Okay. Yeah, first of all, you've gotten this privilege to represent the constituency at the federal level. This is not a policy that will come single-handedly from member House of Reps. It has to be a joint effort. Now, and this is where the like minds issue comes in. You come to the House, you identify people that shares your opinion, because it has to be a federal, how do I put it? It has to be an effort from the federal government. Okay. You can't handle it at state level. Now, at best, if there is nothing coming from the federal level, then you fight it through your state. But where you are representing, you should be coming down from the federal level. And if I don't see primary school as an institution that parents should pay their money for their children to enjoy. I don't look at it that way. Because it's like deliberately we are denying the nation the requirement of producing good people across board, irrespective of the endeavor. There's no need of having private primary schools. Private secondary schools, no problem. Universities, no problem. But we are I'm going to be a strong advocate of primary institutions in Nigeria should be taken over by federal government, and it should be free for all children in Nigeria. Let it be free, because if you don't prepare the child's mind, if you don't give him that sense of belonging, he is too innocent for you to start telling him he is poor, he cannot go to this class, or he cannot. Let them wear the same uniform. Let them go to the same class, eat the same meal, enjoy the same teacher, then have this sense of citizenry. He grows to the level he wants to go to secondary school. If the country is not buoyant enough to sustain the secondary school also to be free like other countries are doing, just of recent I have seen Liberia has declared even federal universities are free. Have you seen it? Now, if Nigeria cannot do that, at least we have tackled the matter from the base.
Okay.
Now, it means you don't have the power, even as a father, to stop your children from going to school. In fact, you can be held responsible for that, because you are not only denying yourself or the child, but you are punishing the nation of having, a prosperous child in the near future.
And the leader of tomorrow.
And a leader, and we cannot allow you to do that, because we are 200 million, maybe statistically, Nigeria is projected to, in 2050, to have about 400 million. people. So if we provide a system that caters for every child to go to primary school free, and you as a father, you said you are in my village, Mayobelwa, you don't want your child to go to school because of the government can hold you responsible. In fact, you can go to prison because of that, because you are punishing the entire population, not yourself or the child. So this will be an advocacy at the federal level. And of course, the fact that you are there doesn't stop you from also interacting with your governor. You share policies with him. This is what I have seen.
What if you don't belong to the same party?
It doesn't matter. Politicking is over. This is what we refuse to sink into our heads. It doesn't matter our affiliations politically. Once it's over, let it be over.
Okay. And
concentrate on governance. Do you have anything good to offer? How do you want us to do it? And it's the only time we can get it right, Annabel. That will be the only time we get it right.
All right.
You bring, because you are from APC, you win. You don't want to hear anything about PDP or my party, YPP or NMPP. You go and bring people just because they are your families or friends to acquire different positions, and you expect a good result. Are you insane or what? It's not going to happen. All
right, our time is fast spent, but we'd just like, before we let you go, kindly tell the federal constituency, the people of Mayobelwa, the people of Tungo, the people of Ganye and Jeddah, why they should leave every other party, every other candidate, and put their thumb where your party is.
Because they are in pains. Why they should do that? Because they are in pains of not seeing what they are supposed to see for 24 years. Isn't that enough? Is it only my problem? No. Is it only a problem for my children? No. If truly you don't feel comfortable, if truly you are denied your right as an indigene of Adamawa State, or in my own constituency, in my own case, then it's high time you stay away from this. If they want to make their changes, they should go back, reorganize themselves, and come back for a better competition. But for now, they have not offered anything, and let them get out. And we know that these people we have been communicating with have understood properly. And I think
the message.
We invite you for our swearing.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you
Honorable Nurudeen, thank you so much for your time with us. It's been wonderful talking to you. We could actually go on and on and on, but then our time is fast spent. Thank you so much for your time with us.
Thank you very much, Annabel.
All right, viewers, that's where we end this conversation. We have been chatting with Nurudeen Hammanyero. He is YPP's House of Representative candidate representing Mayobelwa, Ganye, Jeddah, and Tungo federal constituency. It's been a wonderful time here on The Conversation. I'll see you next time. Like I always say, even though I'm beginning to sound like a broken record, go get your PVCs and put your mouth where your thumb is. Till I come your way again from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Annabel Orji. God bless you and yours, and God bless Nigeria.